So this is the pound yen analysis for Monday, the 19th of March. Now, let's just have a look at it in prices and where prices may likely go. So from our move up towards that 149.10, traded as high as, just bear with me a second here. I suppose I should put it in on the market as it is a swing high here on the market. So it may prove important going forward. Just bear with me a second. So our high in around at 149.38. So we will make sure our coordinates are correct. So we are most recent swing high being around at 149.38. Trade slightly above the 149.10. From which we have seen sell side momentum come back into the market, retested. Well, we came down towards that 48.61, tested 48.61 for having a test of the 49.10, from which we've seen the further sell side momentum come back into the market. We posted a series of lower highs. Market has been trending downwards somewhat indecisively. We've had these pretty sharp retracements here, suggesting that there is a degree of bullishness underlying this market, despite the fact that the most recent trend has been to the downside. There are still some bullish factors affecting it. So, most recent trend going to the downside. We've traded for this 47.35. The very next level that we are looking at is in around 46.50 or so. Ultimately, it's done. We've got 46.38 marked out here on the chart, so in around 46.50 if we are not able to hold on to the 147.35. So we have come down towards pretty close to this 147, but we are seeing quite a bit of bullish buy side momentum come back into this market. So we do see poised for a test of the 147.75. In around the 147.75, we've also got the added confluence of the 200 and 400 period moving averages, currently converging on one another in around that 147.80 or so. So we'll see whether we do see that sell side momentum return to the market for a test of the 147.35. Successful break from which we're looking to see our prices react towards that 147 in around this 147, 147.20. We'll see, because we've had some degree of indecisiveness in around that 147.20. Successful break from which to the downside, we're looking for prices to head down towards that 146.50, 146.38. And if market volatility allows, we are looking for prices to head further to the downside, and for prices to then head towards the beyond the 146. We are looking for prices to head down towards the 145s in around that 145.10 or so, if we do have quite a degree of bearishness underlying, if we do see continuation of the bearishness in light of the most recent trend. But we do seem poised for further upside continuation. So if we were to successfully navigate the 200 and 400 period moving average and hold on to this 47.75, we are looking for moves back up towards that next major level of the 148.46. Successful break from which we're looking for price to retest the 49.10 and beyond there, the most recent swing highs here in the market in around that 149.38. So let's just have a look at the higher time frames before wrapping up here on the bear with me a second here. I'm just so if we have a look at the higher time frames, we'll start with the monthly. You get a scale on here, correct? So here on the monthly chart of the pound against the yen, we can see that we did form there was a degree of bullishness to the market, possibly in this little channel that's developing here. We did have a degree of bullishness underlying this market. We did have a pretty bearish February, so we do have to be aware of that, as we are operating in the shadow of this very bearish candle, considering this very bearish candle just there. But we are seeing a bit of a recovery here on the pound against the yen. We'll see whether we just simply recover and then see further sell side continuation here on the pound against the yen, or whether we do see a test and break of the highs of these bearish candle from February. Now let's just have a look at the weekly time frame. Over here on the weekly time frame, we can see we've got our lows, higher lows, posted a series of higher lows. Now we're coming towards this 400 period moving average, and we're currently oscillating around the 400 period moving average. We haven't been able to break above the 400 period moving average and head towards that 160, where we do have the 200 period moving average. So we've broken beneath the 400 period moving average. We posted a bullish week, somewhat indecisive week after which, and currently, so if we do go on for a test of the 400 period moving average, we'll see whether it does hold, or if we do see further sell side momentum. The 400 period moving average, for reference purposes, is currently sitting in around up to 150.05. It's quite a bit away, over 200 and over 230 pips away, but we'll see whether we do have the upside test of the 400 period moving average, or if we test break, and we go on to test the most recent swing highs here in the market. And we'll have a look at the daily time frame before wrapping up here. And as you can see here on this daily time frame, we've had this pretty strong sell-off down beneath the 200 period moving average, came all the way down towards that 145, 145.10 or so. And from there, let's just see. No, it makes the charts a little messy. So from there, we've seen prices head upwards. Now we trade slightly below this 200 period moving average. So we are seeing quite a few wicks to the lower end of these candles, indicating that similar to what I was saying on the hourly time frame, might be a degree of bullishness underlying this market. So there is a potential for prices to turn around, possibly around 46.50, 46.38, and post a higher low. So we'd have a low, higher low, potentially going on to test these most recent highs in around the 149s, and a successful break from which we are looking for prices to then head further to the upside if we can post a higher low and retake the 200 period moving average here on the daily chart. And with that said, that pretty much wraps up the pound yen analysis. Thanks for watching.